Hello, everyone, and welcome to the spring 2022. God, that sounds so weird. 2022 semester of Intro to the Counseling Professions. I'm Dr. Gray. I'm going to be teaching the course for you this semester. And the whole point of this video is to just go through and talk a little bit about what the expectations are of the course, what I'm hoping or what I'm expecting of you, what you can expect of me, and just some overall general course information. So let's just jump right into it. So first and foremost, this is an online class. So there are not any live sessions. There is nothing like that. This is bi-weekly, self-paced during each unit. Submit your assignments by the due date. And that's about it. So I know in previous semesters, students have said, "Oh, it'd be really nice if we had a live session with the professor." But I teach two sections of this because I did design this course, and I have 70 students, and to fit availability for 70 students is really, really difficult. So this is entirely online. It's worth 3 credits, and as of right now, I do not have standing office hours. So if you are in need of office hours with me, please shoot me an email and we'll find something that works for the both of us. The reason I don't do standing office hours is because, one, I don't have an office on campus because I'm an adjunct. The other thing is that I'm part-time, which is usually insinuated by adjunct, but I have a full-time job in a nonprofit agency, and then I also run a private practice on the side. So my availability is typically pretty limited. So that is why we do not have standing office hours. I apologize for my dog. So, course description. One of the biggest things about this course, people will come in and say, "I want to learn about counseling techniques." I'm letting you know right now, we do not learn about counseling techniques in this class. Please don't provide that as feedback at the end of the course. This course is simply what is in the title. It is an introduction to counseling profession. So what is counseling? What is a counselor? What are the differences among counselors? What settings do these counselors typically work in? What credentials is necessary for each of these counseling professions? So we will go through addictions counseling, mental health counseling, school counseling, pastoral counseling, organizational counseling. We're going to go through a wide range of counseling professionals. The other thing I want to mention up front is that we do not really delve into social work. So I know in the course description with the university, it talks about social work, but the social work credentials are very different than a typical counseling professional. So we don't delve into that. And their range of what they can do is also very, very broad. So, again, mode of instruction, reading, lectures, such as this. I will post a unit video for every unit. We will go through and talk about what the units look like in just a minute. We do have quizzes, we do have a final paper, and we do have unit assignments and discussion board posts. That's pretty much the bulk of it, including journals. So the required text is Halkowski, Sage Guide to Careers for Counseling and Clinical Practice. That's been posted for you for a little bit. So you should have been able to get your hands on it. If not, it is also in the bookstore, also on Amazon. So let me know if you have any issues with that. So getting to the good stuff, course requirements. We have 5 unit assignments, 4 discussion boards. We have 3 quizzes, 5 journal prompts, and 1 paper. So for the unit assignments, what I will say is that these typically aren't that bad. What I will say that students struggle with the most is the word count. They don't know how much substance they should be providing in each of the responses. What I will tell you, the word count for the unit assignments, you should have at least 200 words in your response. That's what I'm going to go off of. In the past, I would say, "Oh, just make sure it's a good paragraph. I don't have any requirements for length," but we're going to say if you hover around the 200 word mark for each response, for each question, you'll be in good shape, unless it does require a more in-depth response. Sometimes there's multiple parts to questions. The unit assignments are just making sure that you're processing the material, that you're understanding it, that you're actually reading or watching or listening to the material. They are pretty straightforward. A lot of them are subjective. A lot of them offer an opportunity for you to ask questions. They really are like the bulk of the class. So please make sure that you're actually putting time into these. The discussion board really hits on like the discussion piece of class, but the unit assignment piece is like letting me know that you're actually understanding the material. So discussion boards, we have 4. So discussion boards range in topics depending on the units. What I tried to do is alternate discussion board unit quiz, discussion board unit quiz based on the units. So there is going to be a time or two where you have a quiz and a discussion board in the same unit, but I really tried to make that not happen. So discussion board, you have your post, which is usually a reflection of a video that you've watched or something from that unit, and you process it through questions. Discussion boards, I basically pieced, like they're broken up in 2 pieces. 1, you have your personal reflection, and then 2, you have to comment on 2 of your classmates' posts. You have to comment on 2 of your classmates' posts for every discussion board except for the topic of your paper, which I'll get to soon. So out of 25 points, the first 15 are your actual post. The other 10 are 5 points for each of your classmates that you respond to. And please don't provide like one sentence where you say, I just agree, or, oh, you made a really good point. Please contribute to them in some way. Like, oh, I really like that you said this because, or ask them a question, just make sure that you're contributing to them in some way. There's also a paragraph here in the syllabus where it talks about being respectful to one another. So I really hope that I don't have to say that, but it is here in case we need to do that. Quizzes. There are 3 quizzes. The quizzes, I would say, are typically what students struggle with the most, and that is because they think too much about the wording and they try to rush through them. So your quizzes are untimed. You only get 1 attempt, and the thing about the quizzes is I went through when I took the quizzes verbatim from your materials. Don't overthink it and don't rush it and you'll be fine. Okay. Journal prompts. So these are private. These only go to me. These are going to be, your prompt is going to be in the unit video associated with that week, just because I need to make sure that you're watching the unit video. So get the prompt out of the unit video. Please don't email me asking for the prompt because then I'll know you're not watching the unit videos. But these can be brief. They can be straight to the point. It's just for me to check in with you and make sure that everything's okay. There will be a topic for each of the journal prompts. So just keep that in mind. Advocacy paper. So there will be a lot more information about this assignment rolling out towards the end of the semester. But the whole point of this paper is to pretend like you are a helping professional in the field already. And there is a vulnerable population that you're really interested in working with and you really want to advocate for them. You are going to go identify the vulnerable population and do some research and come up with your own advocacy plan for this assignment. So we will be going through and talking about this more in depth, but the topic of the paper is going to be due by the end of Unit 3, and then the completed paper is due at the end of Unit 6. So you will post in the discussion board the topic of your paper just because I want to approve it and make sure that we are thinking of the same vulnerable population. So this could be homeless individuals with childhood trauma, minority groups, immigrants, whatever you want to do as far as a vulnerable population, as long as you can make your point that this population needs advocating for. So, let's see here. Grading. I do not really allow late assignments. And that is one of the biggest complaints that students have had. However, I should rephrase that. I do accept late assignments. However, you have to email me before the due date. If you email me before the due date and you tell me that you need an extension, chances are I'm going to grant you that extension. I do not take assignments that are kind of like slid in the Dropbox, like after the due date and time, kind of like nonchalantly and like to see if I notice. I'm going to notice. And I just typically do not take late assignments only because I have had students kind of like burn me in the past with them where I've taken late assignments at the end of the semester and then there were complaints made about, unfair grading and all this stuff. So I have to stick to a rule. Email me before the deadline. Generally, we're good to go. If you don't email me before the deadline, I'm sorry, I can't accept it. It's holding you accountable. It's setting boundaries. I stick with it. Okay. I feel like I've made myself sound very, very mean and harsh. I promise you that I'm not. Let's see. Accessibility and student resources is in your syllabus. Academic integrity. I hate that I have to have a very, very in-depth conversation in each one of my welcome videos about this. Academic integrity. I have zero tolerance for plagiarism, and I'm going to continue having a zero tolerance for plagiarism. The university now requires instructors to fill out a form and submit it to the university when any type of plagiarism happens. So it can be the smallest, anything, it could be the smallest one. If I'm taking points off for it because it's plagiarism, I have to report it to the university. Please don't make it uncomfortable for you, and please don't make it uncomfortable for me, and just use your own work. I have at least 1 to 2 students every semester who plagiarize, whether it's using an assignment from a previous semester of another student's, or using a paper that they had written previously in a class, or copying and pasting answers from previous assignments. Like, Safe Assign flags everything, and it's university-wide. It's been collecting assignments for years now. It's going to know if you're plagiarizing. So please just don't do it. I hate it. So recycled papers, work submitted to other courses, major assistance in preparation of assignments without identifying and acknowledging such assistance are not acceptable. So please don't share work. Yes, I use the same unit assignments for the most part for every semester. I want to say I think I redesigned this course like 3 or 4 years ago. Yes, there's students who have done the work already, but please don't cheat yourself. Don't try to cheat me. It oftentimes does not work. So please don't do it. Let's see. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay. So major things to take away from the unit video. We do not talk about counseling techniques in this course. We learn about intro to the counseling profession. So again, we will not learn about techniques, but the one thing that I did do in this course is you will find that for each of the units, we're going to cover, a couple of counseling professions. I love TED Talks. You're either going to love them by the end of the semester, or you're going to still love them because you loved them before the semester, or you're going to hate them. What I try to do is I try to create content for each unit that would help you understand what it might be like to function as that counselor or one of the counselors in that unit. So for example, like child and adolescent counselors in Unit 4, we're going to talk about the adverse childhood experience, a study in how childhood trauma can impact someone throughout their lifespan. So you're going to get a look of like just things that you might encounter in that type of counseling profession. So I hope that's something that you guys enjoy. The other thing to take away from the course, please, no plagiarism. If you have late assignments, please email me for an extension. We don't talk about social work. I think that's it, guys. It's pretty straightforward, straight to the point. If you guys need absolutely anything, please email me. Although I have been a bit straightforward in this video, I'm actually very laid back. I'm very nice. I want you to do well. I want to help you do well. So if you guys need anything, please reach out to me. Make sure you're paying attention to the announcements on UB Learns. But if you guys need anything else, shoot me an email. That's the best way to get a hold of me. All right, guys. You will also have a Unit 1 video posted in just a few minutes. I'm going to go through and explain the course schedule, like the course schedule with assignments. I don't know what you want to call it in your Unit 1 video. So stay tuned. I will talk to you soon.